Okay, and in keeping with the little video I just did on kicks, we're going to do some stretching specific for kicks. So many times I see people come into school, they put their stuff away, they sit on the floor, boom, and they start bouncing their knees. And I'm like, what are you doing? Think about it. Like, would you cook a frozen chicken? No, you have to let it thaw. The body needs to have its heart rate increased, the blood flow needs to move, everything needs to dilate for maximum, efficiency in stretching. So, warm up first. So we're just going to do some really simple warm-ups. Not going to make you sweat, but just some ideas. You can do your jumping jacks, your push-ups, whatever you want, don't get me wrong. But I'm just introducing some other stuff. This, again, relative to the other video, if you have a staff, which hopefully you do, is relative to your core. So what we're going to do, just as a little warm-up, don't worry about the height of it, we're just swinging the leg. When we swing it, the toe is turned up to the ceiling that way, and then it's turned up to the ceiling to the side. So front and side, and front and side. Notice what's happening with the staff. You don't want this, right? So what this helps you do is gauge how strongly you're holding that center, right? So you want to give it a good swing 10 times, then the other side the same thing. I'm injured on this side, so I'm going to go very light, and that's fine because guess what? Even if you're low like this, you're getting that heart rate going. You're doing the circulation. You're doing the doing. And over time, you'll start swinging up there. Just be patient, okay? We do the same thing forward back. I'm just rushing through this, but you should be doing like 20 each. Again, forward, straight, straight, straight up and down. It's a great way to gauge. So we can do a flexed foot. When you come back, in the back, when you swing back, you're going to curl, really pick that knee. Whoopsie, I'm doing it. Pick the knee up and try to get that heel to the buttock. So swing front, back, yap, yeet, snap, say, that kind of tempo, right? That's what you want to do. 10, 10, 10, 10. The other side, 10, same idea. Toe up. So, now you can hold a chair. I'm just using this, because I like a challenge, right? And this also, it's just a really good gauge. Now remember, you can do this slowly. If you're recovering from an injury or you don't feel 100%, do it small. Don't be an idiot like me who constantly pushes herself and hurts herself. La la la. Anyway, so those are some good hip swings. It's called hip swings. Then just take your nice wide stance, hands on your hips, big hip rolls. I mean big. I mean really feel the hip flexors stretching out here. Feel the pull. Go back, feel it almost in the top of your hamstrings. Really, really big circle. That's why I emphasize, have a nice wide stance. So you're going to do 10 to one side, 10 to the other side. We're going to take a nice deep bend. Make sure your weight is back. Do not lift your heels. Sit back, grasp your fingers, inhale, extend, down, and up, and down, and up. And you would do that 10 times as well. I think this is 4, right? So what we're doing is obviously we're focusing on lower body. We're doing this nice low squats. We're doing these big hip swings with the leg and hip rolls. And then you add whatever you want for a proper warm-up for you. Let's go into the basics, okay? What we're trying to do with kicks, right, is make sure that this is stretched out in the front and this is stretched out in the back. And then to remember to keep the rest of the leg extended, right? Because sometimes we forget our feet. So let's start with very, very basic lunge. So when you do these lunges, it's super important that the ankle-knee to relationship is this. You do not want to be here. Okay, we're not trying to break your knees. We're trying to open up your thighs, right? So plant your foot, wiggle your back foot as far back as you can go. And see if you can just balance there for a minute. Whoa. Relax your shoulders, right? And let all the weight go down. You should feel a nice pull in the front of what's called the hip flexor. It's right here, right? Just take a very gentle bounce, very easy, breathing. Don't push it. Put both hands on the floor on either side of this foot. You're going to try to press the heel down in the back all the way and drop the head to the chest in the front. Now again, You want to isolate. In other words, the tension should not be in your hands and in your neck and in your shoulders. You should feel it entirely in the area where that we're stretching. So that means you have to relax the rest of the body forward. And bend. Walk it up. Breathe in. Drop down. Breathe in. Drop down. Hands down to the floor. Press back. Drop the head down. Breathe in. As you exhale, try to press a little more, relax a little more. Now come up again. So you're going to repeat that at least 10 times. Slowly. You have time right now. Might as well, right? Here's the big problem. And I'm sorry I'm going to have to turn my butt towards you, but it's the only way I can explain this, okay? I'll do a kind of, it's really embarrassing, but it's for a point. We are trying to extend, right, the muscle underneath the leg, right? So if I go here, right, and then, what is it that you all do? Oh yeah, you do this. You twist the hips because it's too damn painful. I totally get it. You twist the hip when you come up to the straight position and it shortens the muscle, thereby not affording the stretch that you're supposed to be giving it. So, that being said, when you do these lunge positions and you pull back, the hip that you're pulling back needs to be even. You guys are doing this. You see how that shortens it? And if I pull the hip back, wow, it elongates it. Short, long. So you have to pull back and even out your hips when you pull back. That is the key to success with that particular exercise. That is the most important part of the exercise, and that's where everyone pretty much fails, okay? Because it hurts, I get it, but guess what? When something hurts, what do? Oh, that's a signal. I need to relax and offer it oxygen. That's your cue. It's not an indicator to clench, which is the natural reaction. You have to retrain your mind that this is not bad pain, this is informative pain, giving you an opportunity to recorrect what you've been doing, right? So again, one more time. You're going to stretch forward, 2, 3, 4. As you pull back, this left hip is going to pull way back. And if you can, pick up the toe and increase the stretch behind the hamstring. And forward, 2, 3, 4. And back. 2. Really pull back on that hip. Again, forward. Really let the weight. It should feel kind of good in a painful kind of way. I guess if you're into that sort of thing, right? So those are so doing your lunges properly and not rushing through them are going to help you with your kicks tremendously. That same idea about pulling the hip back is applicable for this exercise, which I observe a lot as well. It's very hard to sit behind my desk and see this going on. So, when we do our stretches to the side, right? Think of a pencil with a rubber band, right? And you want to stretch the rubber band. You're going to pull it this way. But every time you pull it this way, the pencil goes with it. Is the rubber band extending? No, because it's not sticking where it needs to be. You have to hold, and this is relative again to your center and your core. So, when you twist, this is the normal thing that happens, and go over to the leg. This is what, let me use this side. This is what happens. This hip comes up, because you're trying so hard, just like the kick, to get all the way over there. You've disregarded your core again. Bad student. Bad monkey, all right? So when you're here, you need to feel those sitting bones. Feel those 2 sitting bones. As you turn and drop over, make sure the opposite one stays into the ground and you go to where the body naturally will allow you to go. You breathe in, you drop over. You breathe in, you drop over. Then you can elongate the body, but by all means do not lift the hip. It defeats the purpose of the stretch. Now here's another stretch. So I'm only going to do 3 because, you can have a million stretches, but if you do 1 or 2 well, repeatedly, and slowly, you will get such more benefit than jumping through a bunch of different hoops, So we're replacing, actual education with entertainment. So sorry, but it's how we fly around here. So this is nice because you get to lay down. And what that does, it allows your upper body to relax. right? Which is a thing that we forget to do frequently. So in this case, we're just going to crisscross the fingers and pull the knee into the chest. You've seen this one before, right? But I need you to think about it differently, please, all right? So as you lay on the floor, you should be able to feel your tailbone, your belly button pressed in. You should feel your spine, all the way from the base of your neck, all the way down to your hips. So as you work the legs, that should not alter, all right? So pull your knee to where you feel comfortable. Keep the knee there, and now try to extend the rest of the leg. Right, and just hold it there and breathe. Now point the foot, feel the leg tighten, flex the foot, feel the leg stretch. Point and flex. Really feel the length of these beautiful legs you have. Point and stretch. We don't do a lot of pointing in Kung Fu, but it helps to really stretch out the front of that foot, which is used a lot because we do a lot of flexion. All right, and a bend again. Breathe in as you stretch out, exhale. Make sure that leg is pulled as far to you as possible. Now keep it there. Slowly straighten the leg underneath you. You should feel an increase in that stretch because now obviously this angle has opened up, right? So again, in and out, and flex, and point, and flex, and point. You're going to flex the foot. This is really important for you Kung Fu people. Grab the outside of your foot. If you can't reach it, grab here. It's important that the foot is flexed and inverted. That means rolled inward. So we're stretching the outside of this. Try to keep both shoulders down, both hips down. Pull the leg towards you as best as you can. Then slightly over to the other side, and you'll feel this beautiful woo stretch going all the way on the outside of your leg, which is really, really important. So these are really, 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 really good stretches. Let's do the other side. And first of all, relax. Find the spine nicely placed into the ground. Press that knee into the chest, and keep that knee still, and just extend the rest of the leg. Don't do this, right? Try to, wherever your point is of your stretch in this position, try to maintain that through. And by doing it slowly, again, you start to really train, right? So here we go. We're going to flex, feel the hamstring, point, feel the stretch in the front. Really flex. Really feel all the muscles of the leg working in this extended position. It's important. It's important. So that in your forms you can be beautiful, right? And flex, and point, and flex, and point. So you should do that at least like 4 times. I'm doing it obviously briefly just to show it to you. Here, this time when you extend, make sure nothing moves. You're just extending the leg underneath you, right? Beautiful. And flex and point, and flex and point. Flex, grab the outside. Try to get this shoulder down. Find your center, and then pull it across your center. You're not going to have to do it very much because, boy, will you feel the pull there. It's a beautiful thing. All right? And then another way to work your kicks while you're on the floor, which is simultaneous in the sense of it being a stretch as well. One leg bent, because it'll make sure that'll anchor the hips. Arms to the side, palms face down, flex foot, and you just kick. And really try to think of release. Now we don't have to worry about rooting, right? So you can just let that leg swing. And 6, and 7, and 8, and 9, and 10. Other leg, and 1. Just let it go. 2, see how high you can get it. 3, this is the time to test it. 4, you're safe, you're on the floor. 5, let's see if you can get all the way up to that face. 6, and 7, and try not to do what I just did, which is lift. You see that? 8, because I was trying to go higher. And 9, don't compromise the posture for the sake of the height, right? That's not a good thing. You can also do these sides. This is really, really good to open up the hips. I hope you can see me. Might be too far forward. And place hand in front of you. You can bend this leg if you like, if you feel more stable. You can do them parallel, which is really, really great to work. I can't think of the name of the muscle, but then rotate it out. Same thing, up and over the head as best as you can, right? Just let it swing and swing. It's a great way to get yourself warmed up as well. If you like starting on the floor, right? Recommend not to have the hand up here because it really cocks the spine, but you can do some parallel ones, which are really good because that's a group of muscles we don't work out too much. Not work out, but we don't stretch that often. And then rotate it out, same thing, nice and high. Don't worry about going really, really high. Just allow it to feel the release. No tension. Let it go. That's what you want. Yeah, 9 and 10, right? And then one last little, I keep saying one last little, I keep lying, right? But those are more warm-ups, but they're good. It'll keep, all of this is going to help you kick, so it doesn't matter. I'll turn this way so you can see better, okay? So legs under the shoulder line, this leg is straight, rotate it out, and then let it drop ankle to knee, right? You're going to take your hands, you're going to go behind the thigh, right? Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to take your hands, you're going to go behind the opposite thigh, keep your shoulders down, heads down, and you're going to pull this knee in towards your chest, and you will feel a wonderful radiating pain on the outside part of your hip. If you want, and if you can take that elbow and press it even further open. Breathe in, press. Again, breathe in, and press. And change legs. Again, you should be doing these, like minimum of 4 times each. Up, out, over, hand scoop under. Make sure that foot is here, right? If you can take that elbow, press the knee down, and press the left knee into the chest and in. And relax. Again, in. And relax. Again, in. Oh, my back just popped. And relax one last time. And in. And relax. Okay, so hopefully you'll use this stuff. There's just so much information. So my suggestion, my advice would be focus on one thing, like kicks. Work on that exclusively in terms of extra stretching, extra workout for a month. And then you will see something shift. If you do a little bit of everything all the time, you will definitely progress, and it's great that you do that, but it will not be as noticeable. So do yourselves a favor and use your time wisely. Bye!